Mr. Ayuwa.
Hello and welcome
for the record,
to the report
my
for
group
Wednesday,
members
26th November
to
2025. I am
allow
Advocacy.
for the youngest
Kaduna will be
person in the
experiencing
group
a
to
sunny
present.
day with
That's why I'm
32
here.
degrees Celsius during the day and 18 degrees Celsius at night. Lagos will be expecting
Representing the
light
Gen
rain
Z
during the day
population.
at 32 degrees Celsius and 26 degrees Celsius at night. Maiduguri will be experiencing a
And Gen Z,
hazy
sir.
and warm day at 36 degrees Celsius during the day and 18 degrees
Alright,
Celsius
so,
at night. Kano
what
will
we
be
did was to
experiencing
try
partly
to,
cloudy
as much as
skies
possible,
at 34
simplify,
degrees Celsius during the day and 18
entire
degrees Celsius
question,
at night.
so we don't
Sokoto will
have
be experiencing a sunny day
plenty
at 35 degrees
grammar.
Celsius during the day and
To
22 degrees
define
Celsius at
demographic
night. Jos will be
dividends, my group
experiencing
agreed
partly
that
cloudy
there's
skies
economic
at 27 degrees
advantages
Celsius during the
that the
day
state
and
will
15
get
degrees
from
Celsius at
properly
night.
engaged
Abuja
youth.
will be
It
experiencing
is
a warm
also
day
the
at
economic
33
growth
degrees Celsius
that
during the
Kaduna
day
State
and 18
will
degrees
achieve
Celsius at
when it
night.
has
And
a
that
high
was the
working
weather report
population
for
and a
Wednesday,
smaller
26th
number of
November
dependents. We actually
2025. I am
try
Efose
to
Abon and keep shining like the sky
localize
you
it
are.
and focus on Kaduna State. Key features and words.
Hello! Keep
We believe
listening
that
to
when you
Procyon
want to
Radio
talk about
and
demographic
television.
dividends,
Don't touch that
you
down.
mention words like
Body block in the building. Block.
DJ Psycho 2, baby.
Go serve another G's to go hard up, no keep it. Give it up the feeling to loud, but move it. Jimmy John Bola Tony Soko to Rico Joe. Done it till call her my low keys. No be new, say the girl of the bar. At the slightest amount of money, she no man to you bar. If the money don't finish, she low man fed to car. So you need to send the money if you want to keep her. From a head to her shoulders, and an Zana to all fresh. Only ball and the color one battle. Wait for the volleyball before you sangalo. Move me to it, plus maybe no bungalow. Always on par, wine it on par. She want it on par, give her on par. Girlfriend on par, designer on par. Makeup on par, she giving on par. Always on par, wine it on par. She want it on par, give her on par. Girlfriend on par, designer on par. Makeup on par, she giving on par. To bad thing, baby girl, you go for that. I got a crazy part, she might just one come on yellow par. No me say she be gold digger. Broke boy, go come on your fatigue on that. Before I say one word, all the girls on the laugh, so I'm thinking of a career in the comedy line. I didn't know the power was the root of your smile. Till the boy went broke and he laughed on to fry. From me head to her shoulders, and his hand to all fresh. Only ball and the color one battle. Wait for the volleyball before you sangalo. Into it, plus baby no bungalow. On par, always on par. Wine it on par, she wants it on par. Give her on par, girlfriend on par. Designer on par, makeup on par. She giving on par, always on par. Wine it on par, she wants it on par. Give her on par, girlfriend on par. Designer on par, makeup on par. Yeah, giving on par. This pie is a serious something. If you ain't got the money, you're a serious something. Back when I was broke, I was chasing monkeys. But now with the car, I am Barbie shopping. So no vex for your baby if you open for the park. Cause even if some pie, you sell for no fine. Because you cash cause of park, gotta keep her with the park. Keep caressing with the park, par must never scarce. Always on par, wine it on par. She wants it on par, give her on par. Girlfriend on par, designer on par. Makeup on par, she giving on par. Always on par, wine it on par. She wants it on par, give her on par. Girlfriend on par, designer on par. Makeup on par, she giving on par. On par, on par, on par, on par, on par,
society that we want.
on par.
And then we did Hausa because one
Big strong stuff.
for family, So yes, so he's going to oh yeah. So in Hausa we say demographic dividends na nufin riban takalin arziki da kasa ke samu idan yawan mutane da ke da karfin aiki.
Something they go around town. People they go downtown. Some people they stand around.
Really?
You wanna no go downtown. Them say the chief, he dey sleep with the thief wife. I boogie for corner, he dey sleep with the chief wife. Anyway, anyhow, now. Chop your own and clean mouth now. We print and loot and share around. Them say the priest, he dey pray for the thief. Sadaka for Allah, blood for the spirit. People who know better, them they wait on the Lord for. For ground, them cigarettes still calls for town.
Okay,
few people they smile, more frown.
Ya kamata su that su needs to know. One, hukumomin gwamnati, those are agencies of government, abokan hulɗa da fannin cigaba, dan kafofin watsa labarai, media organizations, media outlets
Fly high, champion, your voice still echoes loud. They tried to break your light, but you're still above the clouds. Tears fall heavy, but your spirit wears the crown. Charlie Kirk forever, they can't pull the legend down. Ooh, I hear your words in the night, still sparking flames, still keeping hope alive. Ooh, even though you're out of sight, legends don't die, they rise. They rise. He was only 31, but he moved like a giant. Faced the world head on, never scared, always defiant. From debates in the daylight to the darkest storms, he carried truth in his chest. That's what champions are born. Trump called him a legend, the heart of the youth. Charlie planted seeds, water freedom with truth. But a shot rang out, chaos, panic and screams. Now heaven holds a fighter who once lived his dreams. I hear your words in the night, still sparking flames, still keeping hope alive. Ooh, even though you're out of sight, legends don't die, they rise. They rise. Champion, your voice still echoes loud. They tried to break your light, but you're still above the clouds. Tears fall heavy, but your spirit wears the crown.
Will be able to
Charlie Kirk
and
they can't pull
what I have seen
down.
the next group has
Your wife and your kids, man, the pain is unreal. We all praying for the strength, for the wounds to heal. From the stages to the streets, your message was pure. Your vision lives on, that's a fact I'm sure. You gave the youth the voice, you gave freedom a stage. Now your name's in the books on a permanent page. They can silence your body, but not what you gave. Charlie Kirk, forever, the brave don't fade. I'm staring at the night, still sparking flames, still keeping hope alive. Ooh, even though you're out of sight, legends don't die, they rise. They rise. Yeah. Rest in peace. You were a voice for millions, a fighter for truth. Just don't enjoy it here. Fly high, champion.
Charlie, you were more than a friend. You were like a little brother to me. Through fire and trial, laughter and sorrow, your faith burned bright. I never thought I'd bury a piece of my heart. But even now, I believe you are home, safe in the arms of the one you trusted so deeply. You answered the call before the sunrise, spoke truth when fear would blind the
Okay, since
You held your ground,
laptop
you
doesn't,
ran your
project.
race with prayer upon your lips, love
Okay, so,
upon your face. In shadows of the
definition of
world, you
demographic
carried a
violence,
flame
we have agreed
for
that
family
it's
faith,
having high
so
productive
much
working
more than
class
fame.
and fewer
When the storms
dependents.
raged,
Then
your voice stood firm.
from the
Never
videos we watched, what
but
are the key
always
features of demographic
firm.
evidence we have identified?
Oh, I saw
First,
you break.
inclusive
I
governance,
saw you
where everybody
bend,
is included and part of the
but
governance
never
process.
break your
Quality
steadfast
health,
hand.
quality education,
In
strengthening
every
security
tear,
and empowerment.
I felt your fight. Now I lift you to
Who do you think
the
needs to know about this?
brother in
Is that
life.
everybody
You've come home.
then no one is
No
left behind?
more sorrow. No
Specifically, we
more
have
alone. I'll hold
say
your
to
memory
community
in
members,
every song.
community-based
Carry
organizations,
your
faith-based
legacy. Keep your flame strong. Oh, brother in
talking about who can take
light.
action in this, we
You've
agree that the
come
government, development
home.
partners, private sector, civil society, social media influencers.
I remember
How
late
can we
nights,
reach
the dreaming,
those
the
who can
plan.
act on this?
How you
We
said
have identified
Candace
several
will
ways.
change this
We talked about
land.
infographic,
The laughter,
animations,
the burden, the
videos,
battles you
looking at the comedy
bore.
aspect,
You walked with
using satire,
courage,
indirect
always
way of
more.
communicating,
You spoke for
message,
the voiceless.
and through spoken
You
words and
stood
poetry,
for the truth.
looking at drama
You
and film,
loved with strength,
using,
but tender as you.
media hashtag, a hashtag campaign,
Your
using
faith
social
wasn't
media
perfect,
trends, in a
but
music, dance,
real
challenge,
and bold.
communicate this,
Now heaven's choir
storytelling,
echoes the
through the
story
news,
told.
through radio and TV jingles,
Gates swing wide
programs,
for you
commercials,
today.
social media, and
Angels gather as you
my
walk
colleague Leah
away.
is going to do justice to
Jesus awaits
stepping
with
down how
open arms. Your soul redeemed by perfect love and mercy's charm. Brother in light, you've come home where grace is full.
the women are also
Sorrow's flown, I'll carry you with every breath I breathe. Live out your vision in every soul believe. Brother in light, forever home you lie. In glory bright. You told me once, if I fall fighting for truth. You never wavered, I promise. I will remember, I will continue until we meet again, brother. In glory, in peace, in home.
But I don't want today to be about anything other than you guys knowing that Charlie really was an amazing person. You know, he was like, we were really close. And he was my best friend and my brother. And I will never unsee the footage of what I saw.
Charlie, you were more than a friend. You were like a little brother to me. Through fire and trial, laughter and sorrow, your faith burned bright. I never thought I'd bury a piece of my heart, but even now, I believe you are home, safe in the arms of the one you trusted so deeply. You answered the call before the sunrise, spoke truth when fear would blind the eyes. You held your ground, you ran your race, with prayer upon your lips, love upon your face.
Who can take action?
Shadows of the world, you carried a flame. For family faith, so much more than fame. When the storms raged, your voice stood firm. Never swayed, but always firm. Oh, I saw you break. I saw you break. Your steadfast in every tear, I felt your fight. How can we reach you to the light, brother? You've come home. No more sorrow, no more alone. I'll hold your memory in every song. Carry your legacy, keep your flame strong. Oh, brother in life, you've come home.
All right.
You're listening to Procyon Radio and Television. Don't touch that dial.
Stimulus like pearls, dancing in the land. No change for anybody else in brown skin, girl. Skin just like pearls, the best thing in the world. We never trade you for anybody else singing.
She said she really grew up poor like me. Don't believe in nothing but the Almighty. Just a little jeans and a pure whitey. She never dreamed forever be nobody wifey. Yeah. She well, I mean a pretty but your heart is a mess. Play you like a villain cause she caught in a way. Tonight I am walking away. 9 to 5 mine and a grind. Yeah. Tonight I might fall in love, depending on how you hold me. I'm glad that I'm calming down. Can't let no one come control me. Keep dancing and call it love. She fights it by falling slowly. If ever you are in doubt, remember what mama told me. Brown skin girl, your skin just like pearls. You're back against the world. I never tried you for anybody else. A brown skin girl, your skin just like pearls. The best thing in the world. I never tried you for anybody else.
Pose like a trophy when Naomi's walking. She need an Oscar for that pretty dark skin. Pretty like Lupita when the camera's closing. Drip buckle every when my Kelly's rolling. I think tonight she might break her braids. Melanin too dark to throw her shade. She minds her business and winds her ways. Roll like 24K. Okay.
Tonight I might fall in love, depending on how you hold me. I'm glad that I'm calming down. Can't let no one come control me. Keep dancing and call it love. She fighting but falling slowly. If ever you are in doubt, remember what mama told me. Brown skin girl, your skin just like pearls. You're back against the world. I never tried you for anybody else. A brown skin girl, your skin just like pearls.
everything about the world. I never trade you for anybody else. In the mirror lately, wish you could trade eyes with me. Cause there's complexities in complexion, but your skin is glow like diamonds. Dig me like the earth, you be giving birth to everything alive, baby, know your worth. I love everything about you, from your nappy curls to every single part of your body natural. Skin that was broken, be the same skin taking over. Most things out of focus to you, but when you're in the room, they know it's you. You're beautiful.
I don't know if it makes sense. So, the second one, they talk about the future of
them and them gon' fall in love with you and all of your glory. Your skin is not only God, it shines and it tells your story. You dance and they can't control you. They watch and they all adore you. If ever you are in doubt, remember what mama told you. Brown skin girl, your skin just like mine. Your back against the wall. I never trade you for anybody else. Say brown skin girl. So with I never trade you for anybody else.
So to be specific and to be direct, we get the youth, then we get the people waiting for community, people waiting for government, people waiting for all this church, box, organization. Then we talk about people waiting for a news house. And then people in the jungle, but they touch one or two. And I know they run them. So, and then who be the people who will feel help us do something about this matter what they talk about? So basically, one of the first group on the list now government, and then we talk about people where they do NGO work, and then we talk about people where they do private business, private sector as well, and then we talk about people where they do things on social media, where they do comment in video and skills. And then, so how we will they reach people using this particular people they do these things? So the first one, we talk about picture where they explain story, basically infographics. And then we talk about sports drama for video, those kids. And then we mentioned satire, where they talk about Wahala. And then we talk about where person they decide not to work. And then social media trend, now the gist where they work as airport. They work online, they run up. And then we get things about the demographic. And then we get gist, which are the youth. Then some with the promotion
I beg. Me, I don't want nothing to bother my head. Me, I don't want someone to lay my bed. Now only God they butter my bread. I beg. Me, I don't want anything bother my head. Now only God they butter my bread. Me, I don't want to go run many bread. My first album back then when I start was true story. For the place when I did to them, me I give God all the glory. Oh Lord, shower your grace. Make we no face sweating woody and hush the face. Alhamdulillah, in a human for the praise. 2020, no the look of face. You know, so woman don't come and go. I give you the rap, for the place when I there, when I step in the town, then rap and clock the boy, yeah. I can't stop the boy, yeah. You know, rap.
nation be a better place. Because if you don't employ those people, when you close your shop for night, you then still come bubble. So also the business owners and then the NGOs function, they should know that what they are doing beyond emotion and love for people, they should also know that they are helping the GDP and also preserving the future. And also we move to artisan or skill people, of course, before now we talked about skill. So those skill practitioners need to know how then go they do them. Then the influencers, of course, and I think and then shooting boys. So when they shoot with the consciousness. There's a motive that guides the kind of content they create. And then if they know they are serving a bigger vision, I think they will have more energy to put into it, even when it's not translating immediately to money, because they are empowering others to know what to do and benefiting us in general. Then religious institutions. For some people, my pastor say is God say. What our alpha say is binding. So if these people understand what we are doing, it will help us get to the people that we might not even get on a normal day. So that's why these are the people we feel should know. And then who can act on it? Of course, the first place to start is the government and the MDAs and youth groups. Well, within youth groups, because there are different publics even within the youth space. You get the people with them there for different function. So if we target all of them, go get these people and these people say, no be our people. Now their people they do so. We want to do it in a way that not be just our people, it's for everybody. Moving forward, the influencers, of course, go show. You go use that reach and those audience where they listen to you. You know how to translate them to get them to do what they should do, not just what they want to do, what they should do that is beneficial. Then we cannot escape this part. We cannot escape this part. Religion institution. It was now Karl Marx. Karl Marx believed that religion is the opium of the masses. So if the religious institution are giving the right dosage they should give to the masses, then we are safe. Then entrepreneurs and business owners, not everybody go work for government. And then in empowering this working population, a number of them need to know, say, I don't need to wear white collar and suit before I make money. If I think well, I feel make money. That's where these people come in. And then how to get them to know, how to get them to know. I'm a student of theater, and then we understand, say, if as we get power for one place, they do something. Everybody for the area believes in a better thing, since the person we are looking up to is doing it. So we want to take it from the base level, so nobody is left out. Grassroots community engagement, and also stakeholders town hall meetings. These stakeholders are the people where they get to make the decisions. May all of them meet so that their perspective, when you fuse their perspective together, you make a decision from one standpoint that favors everybody. And then relatable content creation through media convergence. The truth here, why we say media convergence is there are publics that listen to radio and the newspaper people. They know TikTok for them now waste of time. But what now happens to people who know they follow the TikTok? We shouldn't leave them. So what we're trying to do is that both the conventional and the new age that keeps evolving, the Generation Z, which even if you follow alphabetically, Generation Z is the end. So even those people where they're the base and the people at the top, they will have an equilibrium where the both of them they meet. That's how we intend to get them know how to make them act. If the stakeholders have met and everybody understands what they are saying, they will now create and implement supportive policies by the government. And if it come up from the government, strategic media sensitization, and emphasis here is traditional because the new media, the young people are evolving. But the parents also have a way to regulate what their children hear. Like every time now, TikTok, every time now. So the way we pass it out to them is a way that the parents understand what we are doing and they agree with it. So when they see their children participating in this thing, they don't go say, come on, handle. Now then go they tell them say, poor effort, what they do make sense. And but then, Ato. Oh, sorry. Let him one. shooting ball.
Kawai na abin da yake yi wani.
Na farko kenan bayani me muke magana me muke yi magana ne ta rabon wannan ribar wannan tsarin masu ƙarfi
Sai wannan.
ka gani sai nan kuma abubuwan da ake kai shine ilimi
Dole sai ka tsaya kana
ba damuwa
sannan abu na farko da ya kawo mu shine riban tsarin masu ƙarfin aiki shine ilimi, aikin hannu da kuma boko.
Daga wannan
Na fara
menene amfanin ta? Ka fara daga menene definition din?
Na ga
sai wannan.
na ga
Ba lallai sai da wayan ba, tunda ka gane abin kawai ka ji a haka.
okay kawai
Ba lallai sai da wayan ba.
akwai abin da ne okay to shine abin da na understanding akan ba yawa yawa shi ne kawai ni ma abin da na understanding akan wannan zama haka na understanding akan population akan matasa su tashi su nemi aikin yi kamar yanzu actually in ka duba Dangote ya tsufa amma har gobe yana neman kuɗi, in ka duba Buba ya tsufa yana neman kuɗi, amma kuma irin abin da za ka tsaya ka duba shi ne kai ma sai ka yi having strategy a kanka, ka nema menene za ka iya yi saboda gobenka za ka iya tsufa, ka gane irin like menene za ka iya yi wanda kai ma ɗin yau iyayenka sun tashi sun maka wanda su ma ɗin kana sa ran za su kwanta ko kuma za su iya sabin ba su da lafiya wanda za ka nema kai ma ɗin ka so su ma ɗin ka kawo musu za su ce alama albarka and then dama and dama Moses Bishali kuma mu matasa gaskiya ba ma son aiki gaskiya ne in dai za a yi maganar gaskiya ba ma son aiki mun fi so kawai sleep and chop kawai muke muna bacci ne kawai so ba za ka taɓa zama wani abu ba gaskiya dole sai ka jajirce kuma ka nemi aiki ko a ina kake din kamar ni yanzu actually bakanike ne kuma ko da yaushe ina zuwa in yi aiki na kuma kafin in zo nan kuma sai da na nema cewa zan zo nan saboda ko da yaushe ko me za ka yi a rayuwa dole sai ka sa sana'a saboda idan baka sa sana'a ba wata rana za ka ɗauka yin wani shi ne kawai kuma iyayenmu dole suna jajircewa a kanmu amma dai kuma irin abubuwan da mu muke gudanar musu dole sai mu ma mun saka musu da alkhairi in dai muna so mu ga daidai a rayuwa shi ne kawai
All right. Please, well done. I think we should all take time to appreciate ourselves. I think we all did wonderfully well. And this is also to tell us that sometimes what you say you come and do PowerPoint and present, you already know. Right? And sometimes PowerPoint presentation will limit you to the limits of knowledge of the person. But as a result of shared discussion, shared learning, you understand that there are perspectives that you will learn from each other, and even the person that will be doing the presentation is learning better. And if not for anything, if we close now, we can go and justify to Lafiya that there is value for money. Because everybody should have gotten an idea of how to use the information because owns the knowledge. Nobody told you about knowledge. This knowledge is coming from you and you have presented that. But because we don't want to be sweating while justifying to Lafiya, we'll still take till tomorrow before we end the activity. All right. So basically, we are supposed to quickly look at the demographic dividends roadmap for Kaduna State. We are going to have a panel discussion. And this panel discussion, just like we did this group work, we are just going to invite anybody randomly. Let me allow that one sing. We don't put you here, and because the reality is that everybody seated here is already a practitioner. So you don't need to say you're bringing any expert to tell anybody on what you know. So everybody here can be on this panel to discuss. So right about now, we don't have the list of the panel yet. So it's as we engage and as the spirit leads, we will anoint the person that we need to anoint to make the presentation. Seth, is my presentation ready? So basically my presentation is to take us through the demographic dividends roadmap for Kaduna State. Like we have seen for the whole, for what is happening in Thailand and other countries down to Nigeria, it shows one thing, that any government that fails to plan, plans to fail. And whatever plan that government is going to do has to be based on your population dynamics. Because mutane da suke gari shine za ka yi plan kansu. Ka san guda nawa ne yara, ka san guda nawa ne mata, ka san guda nawa ne shekarunsu daga 1 zuwa 20, wani irin abubuwa ne suke bukata, so da in kana tsari as gwamnati, your tailoring your programs, your policy to provide a environment for government. And one of the things that Zamu do by is that Zamu population dynamics na Kaduna State. And in looking at population dynamics na Kaduna State, abin da ya kamata mu dinga tunani shine in ka duba tsarin gwamnati, if you look at government policies, in ka duba kasafin kuɗin gwamnati, that is the budget that government makes, is it in line with our population dynamics? For example, what these guys are doing with content creators, right? They have huge followers and it's an economy on its own, right? Can you pick any government policy and you see that there's a deliberate policy to invest in them in terms of equipment, in terms of skills, in terms of linking them up with opportunities to boost the economy? Even though there's the money, because I was checking Kaduna State budget, I saw about 388 million for content creation.
Obviously, sir, there is, but there is no awareness.
And there's even no policy. So content creation is just to get one company that is into social media. They will gather youth and teach them how to post. And before we know, Honorable Anji Madam Gani Sobuni. And I say, where did you draw the budget line item from? They will look at it, right? But I'm not saying possibly there's anything wrong with that, right? The government needs to see it as an opportunity to invest in and get young people to drive. Yes, you've built vocational centers, but is that in alignment with the aspiration of the current generation of young people to come and do carpentry? When you sit down and see somebody making content in Lagos and he's a multimillionaire, and you're now saying, I should. We're not saying there's anything wrong with carpentry, right? But even if you're going to invest in carpentry, what new technologies are you bringing in carpentry that will ensure that their products are competitive globally? And then what kind of support are you providing? So that's what demographic dividends is all about. How government can understand the population and the needs of those population and direct investment in those areas so that government can be able to boost productivity, which translate to economic activities, which leads to creation of wealth, and you have collective prosperity. Because the greatest asset of any society or any government is its people. So that is basically what we are doing, because there's practically nothing to add from all the presentations that we've been saying, aside just repeating it. just for emphasis purposes. But everything we have done has given us an idea of what demographic dividend. So with your permission, permit me to keep repeating what you have just presented in the context of Kaduna State. All right, so we can move to the next slide. So, last year in 2024, the Planning and Budget Commission with the Kaduna State Bureau of Statistics actually developed the Kaduna State Demographic Dividends Roadmap, which was done in 2024. And in that light, they were supported by Lafiya program and UNFPA. These were the development partners that supported Kaduna State to have a roadmap on how it will invest in its population. And in doing that, the government by themselves, and this is the Commissioner of Planning and Budget Commission for Kaduna State, who called on all of us to come and play a role in ensuring that this works. Because if government use this document as it is and implements it as it should be, then I can assure you a lot of the issues we have in the society will be addressed around health, around education, around economic prosperity, around security, and all that we have. So this is what the commissioner said in the foreword of the roadmap, which I think is a call to action for all of us in this room. He said, as we transition from planning to implementation, planning means they have a roadmap. They have brought out a path of how they will drive that. And now the next thing is implementation. I call upon all stakeholders, and the stakeholders are in this room, from government institutions, private sector, civil society, development partners, and citizens of Kaduna State to join hands in actualizing the vision outlined in this roadmap. Together, we can transform the demographic advantage of our state into a legacy of prosperity, equity, and sustainable development for generations to come. So wannan gwamnati ne take ce kowa ya kawo hannunsa a haɗa hannu ko a ganyen da za yi ta sa kuɗaɗen da ya kamata, so da in ɓangaren lafiya ne ya zama cewa kowa ya samu services na lafiya. In ta ɓangaren ilimi ne ya zama cewa ka je makaranta ka samu ingantaccen ilimi ko ranka sai ka dinga gyara min Hausa fa yawwa ka san kai ne lecturer. Ka gane in kuma maganan yanayin abin da za ka yi ne ka samu kuɗi ya zama cewa gwamnati ta taimaka maka. In dai ɓangaren yadda kai ma ba wai kawai ya zama kai kana benefiting akan abin da gwamnati take yi ba, kai ma ya zama cewa akwai yawun bakinka a yadda gwamnati take tsarinta, yadda take tafiyar da ayyukanka, which is governance. Ko na ƙarshe kuma maganar tsaro. Ya zama cewa gwamnati ta sa kuɗaɗe a irin wannan, so that dukkanmu da muke ɗakin nan ya zama cewa muna da opportunities da za mu yi contributing namu na cigabawan jihar Kaduna State. To, shi wannan commissioner shi ne ya yi wannan kiran gare mu. Ya ce, kan mu zauna kawai muna ji ana magana, yanzu mu ma mu zo mu sa yawun bakinmu a ciki, mu ma a yi da mu. Let us all come and be part of this campaign. And there's no category of people that can drive this process more than the media, both conventional and social media influencers, because they are expected to set the agenda even for government on the conventional media part. And also, the influencers on social media are the ones shaping our minds. The content you put out there, you think is just content. The person reading it, you're shaping the person's mind. He might not acknowledge you for that in the short term, but over time, you would have triggered or planted a thought in his mind that would define the person's life. Next. So I'll try and be rushing as fast as possible. So why is the media important? This is the Constitution. I highlighted it earlier on. Section 22, that's chapter 2 of the 1999 Constitution, says the press, radio, television, and agencies of mass media. Social media is an agency of mass media because mass communication is talking about mass communication, right? Shall at all times be free to uphold the fundamental objectives contained in this chapter. That one is another English. But the main part is that to uphold the responsibility and accountability of government to the people. So that an kawo kunnan cikin wannan taron meeting din ba wai kawai don wannan bane, an recognizing power naku ne da kuma role the constitution ta baku in terms of ensuring government responsibility is very clear. If you go to section 14 2A 2B of the 1999 Constitution, says the security and welfare of the people is the primary responsibility of government. And demographic dividends is talking about that responsibility of government. So beyond also ensuring that government is responsible, carrying out its responsibility, we must ensure that they are accountable in doing that. So the stakeholders in this room are better positioned to make the demographic dividends deliver, because our concern, if we don't take anything from here, is that all of this grammar da muke yi akan demographic dividends is mu gan cewa gwamnati ta implementing nashi. Because the roadmap has already provided where government should invest money. But why is government not investing money? Is the question we are talking about. Talaucin nan da ake magana, out of school children, and all of these are product of demographic dividends. High rate na mutuwan yara da mata during haihuwa and all of that, all issues ne demographic dividends. Rashin aikin yi da matasa ke fama da shi issue ne na demographic dividends. Maganan tsaro, because in ba ku invest in a population naku ba, demographic dividends is a blessing and a curse. But in ba ku invest in a demographic dividends bane, shine zai zama muku matsala. Amma ku invest in zai zama muku advantage. So shi yasa akan ce it's not usually even the quantity, it is the quality that matters. So what is the quality of our population? It is when government suka invest in a demographic dividends, shine za mu samu quality population. Next. So this, I will not skip it this, but this is just to give us an idea of most of the young people that this one is old, but when he became president, right, he was practically within the youth age. This is just to let us know that the greatest impact anybody will make is at his youth age. The greatest mistake you will do is to wait sai ka tsufa ne ka ce za ka yi naka impact. Because by the time ka tsufa matsalolin sun compounding. Yawara. So matsalolin sun tsufa, right? So all the people that made change, we had a governor at 35 years. So yanzu nan wani ya riga ya zama gwamna at 35 years. Why are we thinking of sai mun kai 50 ko 60 kafin mu zama gwamna? Right? And we might think they got it at an easy time. It wasn't easy. Because then it was even military rule. There were a lot of things that they did not have that we have today. Communication was not easy during their era. There was no phone, there was no social media, right? So I won't spend time here because these are stories that we all know about. Next. So we have defined demographic dividends already in our various groups, right? But the key things we need to take away is what happens when you have the larger percentage of your population is much more working population, is much more than the population that is not working, that is dependent. What happens to the economy when you have large population of people that are able to work? Okay, they are healthy, they are educated, they are skilled, they are economically empowered, they are secured. what will happen? Economic growth. Yes. But if they are not healthy, they are not educated, they are not skilled, they don't have economic opportunities, insecurities everywhere, what do you think will happen? So you see, what we are talking about, about is our practical reality. Every bandit da kuke gani today did not give da an haife shi ba ya tashi bane ya ce ni na girma I want to be a bandit. It's because ya tashi ya samu magani ma ya sha in bai da lafiya matsala ne. Makarantar ma bai je ba. Economic opportunities da ya kamata a bude mai sana'an shi ma ba yi ba. Maybe yana kiwon amakan shi, maybe in police ma sun zo sun kama shi ya laifi ko bai sai a mai shiri ma a kwace mai shanayen nashi. And today we have produced bandits and kidnappers by the choices that the leaders had made over time. And to change the current situation is not the number of soldiers you will recruit or the ammunitions you would buy. It is by investing in your demographic dividends to ensure that the next generation do not sustain or make worse abunda this current generation has done. So it's a cause and effect issue. If you invest, the effect will be good. If you don't invest, you reap what you sow. We will continue to blame this one, that one. America will come in and will look at it and say, oh, let's use genocide as our entry point for our America. No send you. No send whether you be Christian or Muslim. Now economic interest, they carry them come. But they know that a problem is existing already. So how do they exploit your problem to take to their advantage? Do you know how much to fund one American soldier? Or per day, or to put drone on the air? The America will spend all of that because they think there is a genocide in Nigeria. The genocide issue is another conversation altogether, but I want to understand that an enabling environment has been created for that kind of thing to happen. So these are the realities around demographic dividends. Two things we need to always take away when we talk about demographic dividends. One is your working population, and two is your dependent population. When you have more dependent population, poverty increases, challenges increases. Honorable has 14, Honorable, by before 11, near 14, yes, some kind of yeah, what? Allah ya raba ka su kai 50 kafin yawa da gaskiya me to let me add to that population. Yeah. Yes. 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 Dividends, yes. Yes. No, that one is a different conversation altogether. It's a different conversation. It's just for emphasis for us to understand those dynamics. Yes. So we can move to the next slide so that we have beautifully explained this part at the last slide. So one of the things we saw in the second video, how the population of Nigeria is shifting, right? So just the way the population of Nigeria is on sprint, so also the population of Kaduna State is on sprint. So as of 1990, our population was just 3.9 million. And by 2006, it has about doubled to about 6.1. By 2023, it has a projection from 2026 to 2023, it is projection. The population growth of Kaduna is said to be growing at 3.18%. So every period, they calculate it based on that calculation to project. So by 2023, we were already about 10.4 million. By 2030, yes, by 2030, we are supposed to be 12.9 million people. 12.9 million people. And if you look at statistics, you will see that a lot of these statistics is unfavorable. So, for example, if we pick poverty as of 2022, the Bureau of Statistics Multidimensional Poverty Index showed that as of 2022, so let's use it to calculate this, it shows that 8.04 million residents of Kaduna State are multidimensionally poor. Me kenan yake nufi, cewa ba wai kawai ba kuɗi a aljihu ba, amma most of our population still har yanzu ba sa samun access su je makaranta, su je su samu treatment a asibiti and other basic necessities that ya kamata every human being yana da shi. So in ka cire 8.04 million out of 10.4 million, it tells you that every 8 person, out of every 10 person da ka gani, mutum goma da ka gani yana tafiya, about 8 are multidimensionally poor. Zai iya yiwuwa elites kaman ku kun zo kun zauna nan dukan ku not multidimensionally poor. But in kai putting that into the larger population, yanzu ka ce tasha, you will see that 90% of the people at tasha are deprived one way or the other. So that is the emergency situation. That, to tell me, if this thing continue, what is your thinking? In the next 5 to 10 years, do you think Kaduna will be safe for anybody to stay? So do we wait say an zo ne kowa ya dauka yana yawo da hadda, dan ni ma thank God sunana Magoce ne. Kawai zan daura hadda ne a waist kawai na yawo da shi. Kowa ma kawai yana, because you have to secure yourself. Yes, because the more you look like you're doing well. In fact, there will be a time to smile says I'm a crime. Once you look like you're doing well, the people that are not doing well will see you as a target, as a beneficiary of a system that's unjust to them. And automatically you're the first target. So these are the things we need to look at. The basic thing that we need to understand about demographic dividends, which a lot of the groups also did not capture, is around fertility and mortality rates. Because that is what affects your population. Fertility is number of children giving birth to yaran da ana haihuwa, yawan yaran da ake haihuwa. Ko shine fertility rates namu. Kuma ya nuna cewa the number of children da ake haifan su a Kaduna State ya fi ma da ake haifa nationally, average nationally. So kusan how a woman gives back to a minimum of on average 6 children in Kaduna State. But that is a blessing because children are always a blessing. But the problem is if you don't have the capacity to invest in yaran, it becomes a problem. So demographic dividends yana tunanin cewa in an iya controlling number of yaran da ake haihuwa based on your capacity to take care of them. At least in kana da yara 3 ko 4 ko 5 ko 6 ko 10, ya zama dai kana da kuɗin da zaka sa dukan su je makaranta. In ba su da lafiya, ya zama duka zaka iya kai su je su nema su je asibiti, kana da kuɗin. Then in ya zo abun aikin hannu ko wani other skills ya zama suna da shi. In opportunities ne ya zama akwai opportunities da su ma za su iya contributing to the economy. So ba yawan yaran bane problem din, the capacity to manage them, because muna haifan su da yawa kuma population namu is young, yara ne sun fi yawa. It means that you will have more ƴan ƙananan yara compared to mutanen da suna da aikin yi da kuma suna da capacity to lura da yaran. That is what demographic dividends is talking about. So mortality rate is also important. Ba wai in ka haifa yaran kuma suna mutuwa fa. Kaduna State has one of the highest child mortality rates, maternal and mortality rates. Yaran da suke mutuwa. I believe Chana health sector, Kaduna State level ya fi national ma, average the national. Yes, the neonatal, the under 5, the so on, duka is above. Yaran da suke mutuwa Kaduna, average the national big mutuwa.
And you discover that this thing is just a data, reported data.
Yeah,
A
wow.
whole lot of data is down there in the community.
The bad reporting.
Bad reporting. Oh, yeah.
You understand? So these are the two factors. So she demographic dividends in yana cewa in mun controlling haihuwar mu to the level that we can take care of them. It means that over time, kuma yaran ba su mutuwa. Over time, that means controlling yawan yaran da akwai that we need to take care of. Then at that point, yaran da muke da su, they would have also grown into the working age population. So they will be able to be working already and going investing in health, nasu in education, nasu in economic empowerment, nasu. So they will be in a position to now take care of the yaran da suke nan da tsofaffi. Because like I said, it's talking about two things: dependent population and working age population. So the dependent population is talking about children and the elderly above 65 years. Soon it depends, because once your parents is above 65, it is expected that responsibility in the care now is back on your head. Amma kai baka da capacity, baka da resources din, sai ka koma ma ka zama musu body. So that at that point ba energy ba komai, amma ya gan tsohuwa na fita tana neman aiki, ita take tura ma yaranta abinci da family su gaba daya. So this is what he's talking about. Let's move to the next one. Let me try and be as fast as possible. So this Kaduna State age structure, according to the Kaduna State General Household Survey 2020. So one of the things you will realize is that everything we are talking about here, we are using verified data. We are not using assumptions. It's data that has been generated, and that is what should inform government decisions. So based on data that I can generate, Kaduna State currently, population nam yawan mu na Kaduna State are on 13 years. 53% of our population in Kaduna State are under 17 years, and that is the dependent population. So dukan mu sauran mu da muke nan mu ne we constitute the 47% na population namu, including the older people that are involved. So we have more dependent population in Kaduna than working age population. So, but again, we also have another challenge. Besides this 0.0 years, that's 53%, 16% of the population are, 16% of that population is, of that population is under 5 years. So if you calculate out of, let's say, 10.4 million, or by now we should be around, right? Out of 11 billion, 60% of it, 11 million is some, it's 1 million, right? So it tells you that we have under 5 children that are under 5, 10% of population. It's still huge. Then if you now look at, okay, we've talked about 18 years and above, muke nan da sauran ko, mu ne 66.5%. In ka haɗa shi da wannan 50 years to 34 years, which is usually considered as the youth age, is about 31% of the population. While this one, the real one, less than 83% of the population is less than 40 years. So we have a very young population with a lot of children. So what kind of investment should government begin to make now in ensuring that we control this one and don't just be producing children? Well, I'm proposing actually invest in child space, invest in child and maternal health. Those are the key that So Kaduna State has more young matasa ne duk ba a ba mu shawara. Sannan ko kai ne kake ba da shawara. Ke ya kake da tawa. Go back. This one here. Yeah. Up and down. I'm trying to make them 100 and it's not funny. 100 is if you want to tally them, what you will tally that will give you 100 is this and this. So but this one is a breakdown of this by segments of the population. Yeah. 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 So but this other one segmenting the population within that 100. Inside less than 40. And it's 17. 45. Yes, sir. So we can move to the next one. I've talked about this thing. When we talk about dependency ratio, we are looking at those below 15 years and those above 65 years. So anytime you hear dependence, that is the population, which is what we have. Then the working population is considered those from 15 years to 64 years. That is our working population. So we can move around. This is used to calculate the dependency ratio. So for the generality of the population, it is 29 dependent to 25. So but generally, what I talked about. But for our population, it has also brought up a very important vulnerability that can affect the dynamic of fertility and mortality rate. And that is for so close to half of women that giving birth have no formal education. And that can affect the kind of choices, the quality of choices they make when it comes to giving birth and other things around nutrition and health of herself and the baby and all of that. And within that, 76% are married. So they are already in the factory. So yeah, so and there are only 2.0% of health or insurance coverage. So it means they are accessing health services that will help them um, yes. Who is with yeah. No, when you say we, I want to know whether you're government. Can start with it. You are, okay. No, you're okay. Okay. Yes. And what the timeline for this? Discover that. Yeah. Yes, what's the timeline? Let's assume the package, the package for for one person for a year is like 1,000. No, no. They go help Nigeria. So, and I think I even missed the statistics there where he talked about 72% of these women we're talking about have already experienced childbirth. So these are dynamics. Next set, let's quickly. So for the Kaduna demographic dividends roadmap, it is clearly aligned to government strategic documents, the state development plan, which has the sustained manifesto of the joint benefit. It's also connected to the national plan, as well as the SDGs and the African Union agenda for 2060. So this is just to show alignment in that direction. Nigeria, just like Africa has a demographic dividends roadmap. Nigeria has a demographic dividends roadmap. Kaduna State has a demographic. So it's at the various levels that people are saying we need to know the dynamics of our population and how we should invest in that population. So that's what we are talking. Roadmap. What I talked about earlier on is the right that gave birth to the roadmap. So the objective is to ensure that its youthful population in between the demographic development objectives. So if you look at it, this is basically talking. So the government is saying, looking at our population dynamics, we see that we have a very robust population that includes children. How do we invest in that population in a way that will ensure that the state is able to achieve its development objectives and accelerate economic development? So these are the objectives outlined. One is to domesticate the African and Nigerian roadmap so that to reflect Kaduna's context and Kaduna's reality. Then secondly is bring out when the actions the government ya kamata su akan wannan issues all those population dynamics. Then the third is transparency, accountability, inclusiveness, participation of young people in decision making. So wani abin da wannan platform din yake promoting shine ya za a iya zama cewa duk ayyukan da gwamnati take yi, duk tsarin da gwamnati take yi, duk kasafin kuɗin da gwamnati take yi an yi da matasa. That's one of the things that the demographic dividend is talking about. If, for example, I know that this has become a cliche, the story of the Yakubu Gawan and all of that. But at the level of which Yakubu Gawan and co at that age, they were directly contributing to governance. And don't forget, Yakubu Gawan did not just appear from nowhere and became president at 1930. He must have held other responsibility in governance, would have prepared him for being a president. So imagine at what age he found some opportunities to participate in governance, even though yana sa kaki ne. So it means that in muna so mu fitar the future that all of us will be proud of, we must bring out ways that youth can start participating in governance early, so that they just learn the ropes and they don't just wake up out of ambition to say they want to be president, but they understand the problem that they are going to solve. So it's very critical. And the next is conducive environment for rapid and sustainable economic development. What does this mean? Wani policy ne ko tsari ne gwamnati take da shi a kasa na taimaka ma matasa da suke creative industry? Because this is what will happen. Muna da L-guy ko? Muna da alaga, muna da shooting ball, ko? Do you know the funny thing? In ba akwai enabling environment ba, all of this potential, wata rana su zama frustrated, su bari. Su je su shiga, say, kai, this thing is not paying, na ta wahala. Because yanzu nan, we all believe that kafin ka yi zama mai kudi a content creator, maybe sai ka je Lagos. An ka je Lagos, akwai masu Lagos. The cabal that ba za ka tashi kawai da talent ka je wai kana so ka zama wannan ba. Till you go and convince that cabal, then you open the door for you. So, is there an avenue that su alaga, su shooting boy, su el guy, za su zauna da gwamnati su ce to in kuna kasafin kuɗin a yanda muke so ku inda za ku sa kuɗi. Can government create studios, for example, go in various locations? Akwai equipment, standard equipment da zai baka duka quality da kake so, ba sai ka yi kashe wani kuɗi. These are the things that you should see in government policy da za ka ce enabling environment. Ko kuma akwai facility na kuɗi da gwamnati ta ajiye that if you're a content creator, you can go and next is to promote well-educated, skilled, productive, entrepreneurial, innovative workforce. That one, what I'm just talking about. Improve accessibility to education for a healthy population, which is healthcare. Then security and justice, then strengthening as a basis for developing an implementation and monitoring plan. So that is the objective of we have we've talked about potential of investing in the people. That is what so next now schools pillar the not pillar that this roadmap ne ake so a yi na ɗaya is of investment is that investment da gwamnati take yi a ilimi a duk abubuwan da muke dan ya zama cewa yanda za a yi implementing wannan roadmap din akwai institutional arrangement. Already mun riga mun san cewa the coordination na office na deputy governor. Muna maganar secretariat ya zama a office a ministry of youth tunda youth ake target. Muna maganar kowane MDA da have a say in health education and whatever su ma suna da nasu implementation plan. And all the beautiful English and we write all the right tables and there is no way to finance it. Kuɗi would have just done beautiful nonsense. Without finance, engagement da muna yi, ita ya zama tatsuniya ne. Pose So some of them are present. So the last one is partnership, and that is part of what this is. This is a media partnership, that direction. So the roadmap has 5 pillars. We have one, governance; two, economic empowerment; three, education; four, health and well-being; five, security and justice. So that is where Kaduna State government is best in order to harness the state's demographic dividend. We can move to the next. So this is just a breakdown of everything said of these areas and the investment areas. In the document, you see that there's investment areas and their activities. So this is for governance, right? You see for health, you see for education and all of that. I don't want to go deep into that because it will. I noticed like 90% of the people in this one already, their eyes one already closed. They're not keeping one eye open. Uh-huh. So we'll try and see how. But the group work you're going to do, and that is why we have broken it into group work. The group is that this will be shared for each of the groups, right? According to your group, there are 5 thematic pillars, but we also have governance, which is the fifth, right? But governance is cross-cutting. So what we are thinking is that each group would pick one issue around governance and talk about it. Then you now talk about your own area of interest. Basically, is how do we ensure that you participate in decisions that affect them directly or indirectly. Every decision the governor of Kaduna State is making today, you will see the result in the next 5 years. So as we are saying, so Bune, we should do that. So 10, we will see it in the next 5 years. Whatever decision is taken. And you don't judge a government by what it is doing and getting in the immediate. That's the wrong indices for assessing government. I can assure you the good and the bad and the ugly we experiencing today is as a result of the decisions of the last government. Because there's a difference between output and outcome. Output is usually what you see, but that is not what matters. Outcome is usually 5 to 2 years most times. That's when you begin to see results of that outcome. So this administration, whatever decisions they are taking now, you see the outcome now. It will be maybe after he has finished his tenure. That's when you begin to see what he has done now. That's why I say for us, we don't celebrate what you have built, what you have built hospital, and it's progress. But that is not the impact. You can build hospital, and the system poor. So what is the aim of being the same thing with roads? So these are dynamics that, right? We can move to the, so we have governance, education and health, skills development. They have about 7 health, they have areas, then security, they have about 5. So what we're expecting is that you look at all of these areas, which one are you picking to create content apart from the general governance component? The general governance component, we will share that one, which is talking about our focus of campaign for the government. One is that we want the government to institutionalize demographic growth. That one, each group, we need content on it. And if you recall, when we played the video of the Honorable Commissioner of Youth Development, she made a pronouncement in that. She said that they will appoint a desk officer in the ministry, and in 23 LGAs, they will appoint desk officers. But the key one we are focusing on, and thank God we have the deputy governor in our midst here. Yes, you need to wear the cap, sir. Yes, sir. Right? Is that by this document, this is what the roadmap suggests for implementation responsibility. It means that the implementation is going to be held in each of the MDAs implementing this document. There are plenty MDAs. So all the MDAs under health, they are the ones responsible for implementing health. All the ones under education, they are responsible for implementing education. The economic empowerment the same, security and justice the same, governance the same. So they are supposed to take that. But now our advocacy, which is where we want to see content, high content, is the only deputy governor that is inaugurating coordination mechanism to ensure they want implement for now. And what are we requesting for? For the deputy governor to set up a multi-sectorial technical working group under the Human Capital Development Strategic Team. How many people have I confused? As I come again, which of the coming? Okay. So what we are saying is that currently this document has been developed. Amabai coordination mechanism. My responsibility implementation is the coordination of the implementation in our office, not deputy governor, based on the document. But that has not been done now. So our message is for the deputy governor or the Kaduna state government to set up that coordination mechanism. And that coordination mechanism is a multi-sectorial technical. Multi-sectorial shine an kawo duka ma'aikatan gwamnati da suna da hannu a implementing wannan document ɗin a sa su a cikin kwamiti guda ɗaya. So da su dinga planning suna aiki tare suna reviewing progress nasu. So she will inaugurate it. However, already akwai abin da ana kira Human Capital Development Strategic Team da gwamna ya yi setting up for all MDAs da suke implementing human capital development. So under it ne muke so a ɗan fitar da wani da zai handling maganar demographic evidence. And I believe from the group work you have done, you have gotten to realize that this is a very important conversation. If government implements this, I don't think we will have any much problem. Sai dai kawai in gata ne yayi yawa dole mu ta shagwaba ko? Because whatever state development plan, whatever they are talking about, still talking about this thing. So this is what we are looking at. And thanks to Lafiya, they are really pushing and supporting that these things. Already, Ministry of Youth have shown commitment. And Lafiya is saying we want to even support you to develop an M&E framework, to even be tracking how all M&E is monitoring and evaluation. A ga yadda ake implementing kuma ana reporting inda kuma an samu information ana kokari sai a kare kokari sai a yi in akwai sabon abu kuma da an koya sai a koya yadda za a amfani da shi. So that is what we are looking out for in that direction. Planning and Budget Commission su dai supporting role ne sai kowane ministry department and agency na implementation ya kamata su start work. So all of what we are talking about, abu biyu ne, advocacy ne da awareness creation. Group work da kuka yi, who should know is about awareness creation. Who can act on it is about advocacy. So content da muke so mu ga creating is how to achieve these two things. One, who should know? Mun riga mun san yanzu cewa youth should know. Because yanda akan ce anything for us without us cannot be for us. Oh, that's how slogan na youth suke cewa. So it means that the youth should know that there is a roadmap in the state for investing in them. And they have a responsibility to be active participants in the implementation of it. And not only be active participants, but they should hold government accountable for that. The truth we tell people is that the day we begin to treat government money like the way we treat our personal money, that's the day they will happen. Because the money in Kaduna State is not the governor's money. Every kobo he spends is not his money. It is the collective wealth of the people of Kaduna State. If you are building your house, you have money. Kakan da ka kudin ne kawai ka ba ma contractor gina min gida kawai sai ka je ka yi bacci. Because that's what we are doing. If you vote governor or they vote themselves in, at the end of the day, it is your resources that they are going to take decisions on. So why we should appreciate them for using our resources, it should not look as if it is a favor they are doing. Because when you give a contractor to build your house, is he doing you a favor? He's not doing you a favor. So that is why youths must also realize that, and why we are at this level, because a lot of people have not been taught to realize these things. And we have grown and been conditioned to feel anything government does for us, including payment of salaries, as my brother would say. But that was another topic, high level topic, right? So this is talking about the other component of the education, that this demographic should be integrated to all government policies and programs. Said, can you show us the budget analysis? So what we did was to make an attempt. Kaduna State is about to do its 2026 budget. So we now pick the draft budget and to make an attempt of seeing what are those investments that are related to these demographic dividends that we can look at. No, go, these ones are the findings. No time for Dogon Village. Right? So go down a bit. So we looked at the current year's budget to ask what is the state government spending on youth, right? And we now realize that when the year started, government allocated 1.4 billion naira to youth specific issues. There are other investments that indirectly affect youth, but this one we are talking of directly is going to directly affect youth according to them. So, and you know, the way the budget works is that within the year, either when government gets more money or its priorities change, they make adjustments to the budget, which they call budget revision. So by the third quarter of 2025, they have increased from 1.4 to 15 billion naira to directly invest in the use of Kaduna. As of that, as of the third quarter, looking at the increase in allocation to youth investment, according to Honorable and Co, that out of this 15 billion, 14 billion has already been spent. So please, if you are here to send your account number to Honorable, this is the right point and the right time to send it. Right? So about 94% of the money has already been spent on youth, according to. Sorry, if you ask me now, I go ask. Yeah. Kaduna State third quarter budget implementation reports is online. It's online. So it not be me talking. So the remaining one is the breakdown of how much went to salaries, how much to overheads, and how much went to capital investment. Let's move to the next one. So then we now picked the pillars. These 5 pillars we talked about, and we picked some of the things that are captured in the pillars that are supposed to have been implemented. And we now picked under pillar 1 on the Ministry of Human Services and Social Development. So when they developed this document, there was no Ministry of Youth. Ministry of Youth was created this year around June. So before they were under Ministry of Human Services. So one of the things they said they will implement is establishment of state youth parliament. So as of the third, they budgeted 49 million. As of the third quarter, 0 was released for that. But there are other allocations. We just speak for some. The other economic parts, I won't be reading them for because of time. So you look at this is what was budgeted. This is the actual as of the third quarter. This is the percentage of the release under economic empowerment. So next, so under pillar 3, we picked some samples, the same thing. You can see the same trend. We can go. Yes, that's the language. So suppose so under pillar 4 health, we picked only one. It is as of then under equity and justice, the same language. So let's go to see if there's 2026 when they created the Ministry of Youth. For overhead, they said for personnel, so the staffs and everything, their salary to spend 15 million. Then for overhead, all the youth programs they will do, they are already under the ministry, 485 million naira. So the 115 billion is cross-cutting, not only related to the ministry. That's why you can see it. So now the question is, we have to go and look for where that 14 billion was spent, right? So yes. So this is just for us to have an idea of what we are looking at. It's actually a practical thing. For us as civil society, we are tracking this, right? But for media, it's two things. How do we ensure that this implementation framework is institutionalized? First, in the office of the deputy governor, now we already have it in the Ministry of and the local government level. So that's one. Two, how do we ensure that the youths themselves know about this? How do we ensure that the government people that are supposed to implement even know about it? Some of them, and this is inside their budget. And some, they are implementing some of these components, not with the realization that they are implementing demographic because they don't. So how do we bring their consciousness? Yes. So, yes. And finish the adults. Yes. Components. All right. So thank you very much for that. We'll take on here. Do you have any other comment? Because we need to go to the main thing while we are here. Because if we speak more than we work, by the time we come to work, we would have exhausted people and the thinking, right? So the idea is that once we are done with this session, we are not doing the panel as a panel. We are going to take comments on the strategies from everybody, content creators, everybody will tell us strategy. You did it as a group. We'll take it strategies. Then when we are done with that, we will give you the group work for each group on the content that each group is expected to work on. Then I don't know when I'm coming to you, when lunch will be ready and prayers. So yeah, it's 2 o'clock. So and I'll take one year, then we agree on what, right? But we are done with the technical part. Yanzu lot in aikin ne, right? We were saying 1:30 will be done with the technical, but 2. So now we need to agree on prayers and lunch, and then when we come back, we do the group work and do. But the group work, if it starts, how will be back? We are not reconvening till tomorrow. Once we start the group work, each group will determine how they will do their work. Whatever you want to do, by tomorrow we want to get to the content and presentations of that. Please, that we are resuming tomorrow. But even if we resume, we'll do recap and still continue the group work so that you finalize what you have, and we do presentations and all. So we're practically turancin ya kare yau. So one year we'll take your comments. Yeah. Okay, I'll take her, then I'll take. Is there any other observation, please, just comments? In summary. All right, summarize.
Sorry, advocacy towards them so that it will help towards other programs. Reason is because every project, programs that is being implemented, it helps the states. It's included in the state budget, right? It has components or lines that it speaks to, which is loans, grant, and things like that. So can we have partners like the Save the Children and the rest into this so that implementation can be coordinated and it will help us in the tracking and also measuring the impact so far. So I think it's
So
something
thank you very much. Thankfully, you are in the committee that is developing advocacy strategic thing. So that's what is supposed to be in the advocacy strategic document. So if it's not there, we will hold you accountable. Thank you for that. So you ensure that it is captured as part of the targets and stakeholders, and we take it from there.
Thank you, sir, for your wonderful presentation. It's just like an eye opener to some of us. You talked about fertility and mortality, and I was expecting you to give us the data of children died of malnutrition and pregnant women in your presentation, but I did not see it. So I don't know what happened. I didn't show us that data percentage.
Maybe what happened more from it. But I would, before the end, if you want to see the data, I think I have a table that speaks to the data.
Okay.
I'll have that, I'll put that data up in that direction. But I know one of the slides has already talked about the fertility rate for Kaduna, which is higher than the national. I did not just speak to it because I was watching, but the only one that is not there, it is mentioned, is the mortality rate for children and all of those. But those are data that are readily available in that direction. So for when the content is going to be created, if you need that data, just project it. I think that's what we even do. That means creating data bank. And who will help us set WhatsApp group for this setting? Let's get everybody's number. And then we have everybody in the group so that whatever data kuke so ku using ko na wannan advocacy din na budget analysis din na presentation din everything would be in there. So thank you very much for raising that question. So the next thing we need to do is, with your permission, the panelists that we were intending to have are all in various groups. So they do their panelist discussion in the group, right? So this is what we want to do. It's time for prayers and it's time for lunch, right? Mu je mu ci abinci ne a yi addu'a sai a dawo by 3. In mun dawo by 3 sai a yi explaining group work sai ku deciding yadda za ku in za ku ci gaba ne immediately, in za ku je ku wannan ne, but you must meet before you decide on what needs to be done. Then by tomorrow, each group. So, and this is what we are expecting from each group. So, based on your area of expertise, Kema Elijah now, by tomorrow morning, we're expecting to see that there's an infographics around demographic division. How can it? Then, yes, from that. Then, Oga maybe will give us one joke, right? So, do we agree on that? Do we all agree on that? So for those watching in the print, they'll tell us, are there teams? Do you want? No, what group work should be about? Because you have explained these things to yourself. So what content are you going to create with what you know now? Is the next conversation that we're having. And the good thing is that Lafiya is really interested in the work to do, right? And I believe that whatever content you create and whatever this thing, Lafiya has big plans to really work with you around other campaigns that they are working on. So just realize that what you are doing here might not end in demographic dividends. Yes.
So it's not just going to be on, like you rightly mentioned, it's not going to be on DT. So it will be coming, cutting across, our area of intervention. So that we have, we're going to have a WhatsApp group. So please just be open up. Very soon you will start here. I will contact you through.
No,
Google.
you will be in WhatsApp group.
Exactly. I will also contact you because I don't know new faces. Like I don't know much in then. I will contact you through him to see which people are we going to be working with on what and what. So please let's try our best and see how we can change the narratives. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. So you can hold Lafiya accountable to that. Because I'm a civil society. We hold people accountable. Don't worry. All right, so let's agree on. We've agreed with what I've said, right? We'll go from now to 3 o'clock. We'll do prayers and lunch. Then we come back by 3. Then when we come back by 3, we explain the group work. Then you have your meetings in your various groups. You discuss how you want to do the work between now and tomorrow morning. Then by tomorrow morning, you finalize whatever it is you want to finalize. Then we'll come and project all that you want to be project. So, and what we are also suggesting, and Kasha mic then is loud, but all right. So what we are suggesting is that you can collaborate in creating content. So feel free to collaborate and work with anybody you also want to work with. So we are coming back by 3, please. Thank you. You know, say these things now, they are the easiest thing to get into.